This is a video on how to manage the third-party patching component of CES. So third-party patching is powered by Ninite currently, and what the main function of how it works is it will download the Ninite installer or the executable, and then it will just run the relevant switches against that executable to update whatever components are on the machine. So the way we can configure this is both at the computer and the site level of Automate. So we'll start off at the site level. So if we open up MLL Telecom's main site, because they currently have third-party patching enabled, you'll see a tab here called Ninite Solution. If you click on that, you'll then get a huge list of all the applications that Ninite will update. Ignore the server update column. Although it's ticked, we don't currently actually have Ninite configured to update servers, so this won't actually do anything even though it's ticked. Instead, just focus on the workstation update column. You can see it's all ticked bar TeamViewer, because we know TeamViewer can be a bit finicky with version changes, and if the client has any third parties that connect in via TeamViewer, we have had it in the past where they require specific TeamViewer versions. So we've excluded that. Citrix Workspace, you can see, has been highlighted in blue. You can see down here it means it differs from the global defaults. MLL required a specific version of Citrix Workspace, so we came in, unticked this, and that will no longer update. And then CCleaner just doesn't have a built-in update function. So you can see, if you try and tick it, can't do it. So that's how you would control which apps are and are not updated by Ninite. So we could say we didn't want AusLogix updating. We can untick AusLogix. And then save settings in the top right. You can see it's gone blue, which means it differs. If we then tick it again and click save, you see it's still blue, and that's because we have changed it. So if we give it a filled checkbox and click save, that will just reset that tick box to the global defaults. You can see the blue's gone and it's reverted to a tick. If you want every machine in this client to have 7-zip installed, tick install 7-zip, then click save. I'm not going to do that, because I don't think MLL would appreciate that. A few other things you can change at this level. Version definitions. I want to proceed, yes. You can fix Adobe Reader and Firefox to specific versions. We could utilize that TeamViewer version here, but as a global setting, we just wanted it to not update across the board. But you can fix Adobe Reader and Firefox to specific revisions if needs be. You can exclude an entire location if you wanted to. If you hit save, this entire main location would never get hit by Ninite Pro. Third-party patching. The rest is relatively advanced that you don't really need to touch. Prompt to close. If an application needs to be not running to update, Automate will pop up a little message to the user, and it will pop up this message. That's what we've got currently set. If you wanted to edit that for this specific site, you can change enabled for this location. You can edit the text, or you can just disable the message over entirely, and then it won't pop up at all, and it will just leave the application running, and it won't update it. Some other things you can do, and you can do these three at the client level as well. You can see audit details. So now that this is loaded, we can open up a computer, say voicemail, and I can see that all of these applications are up to date. They were last scanned yesterday at 10 AM, apart from TeamViewer, which is currently out of date. And as we know, that's because we don't have that enabled at the global level. And you can do this for any computer. You can export these at the top to Excel or PDF, so you can send these to your clients. History details, again, is just a big history log of what it has and hasn't done across all the computers. And then on-demand actions, rather than waiting for the 10 AM run every day, you can actually choose computers. You can select which application you want the on-demand action to run against. So say we wanted Chrome to update now, we could click install or update. If you wanted to uninstall, you can give it a go, or repair, but your mileage may vary. So that's the location level, and we can pretty much do exactly the same thing at the computer level. So if I go into this voicemail computer, I'll right click the plugin plug and go to Ninite Solution, you can see it's a very similar screen to that on-demand actions menu. You'll notice there's an exclude column. So if this one computer could not ever have updates to 7-zip because it would break 7-zip, who knows why, you could exclude it, click Save Settings, done. Again, you can just select all applications if you wanted to run it right now, do perform maintenance, that will do the install/update procedure. If you wanted to just do an audit, like I said in that audit scan, so you don't want to actually install or update anything, but you want to get an idea of what's currently on the machine, you can perform an audit. So much like at the location level, you can set version definitions for this specific computer, you can exclude the computer entirely, and then you can have history details and audit details of this machine. And again, you can export these to Excel or PDF to send to the client if they just needed a one machine report. But as with anything, don't forget to click Save Settings if you do make any changes. One thing I will just say, back at the location level, there is a clear all eraser mark. That will just empty all these boxes out. Obviously, I don't recommend that unless you are configuring a site to literally only update 1 or 2 applications and you don't want to sit here unticking all of these. Because if you do that and you click Save, then you're going to be sat there setting these all back to global defaults, which will be a tiresome process. And I know it's tiresome because I had to do it in the first place to tick all these boxes. So I do not recommend that. But other than that, like I said, that's how it all works. That's how you can configure it. Any questions? Get in touch.